Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Sip Conscious, a podcast made by two friends sharing their catch-ups across opposite ends of the earth. My name is Joseph, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host Colin. Our two longtime friends sharing the new things we've learnt every week, and we hope you enjoy our casual chats while having a nice drink with us. I'm so sorry I just bulldozed through your little yay there.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just every intro that we do. So. All right, let's talk about the drink first. So this week, so everyone knows Tesco, or most people will know of, or if you don't, that's fine. But Tesco is like a UK department store. I think that would be accurate to say, or like a large supermarket, if you will. And in Hong Kong we don't have one, but we do have their imports specifically tied to one of our supermarkets here, and I love it because you get some stuff from the UK or more quote unquote Western products at a cheaper price compared to some of the import stuff that we get. And I was walking around in the store the other day, and I've been recently getting into tea. Sorry about my maybe not as as enthusiastic as Joseph, but definitely am appreciating a bit more tea now. And I found this Tesco branded lemon and ginger infusion tea.
Wow.
It's a really nice box also. I mean, I know you guys can't see it, but Joseph can. But yeah, it is lemon, gingery, and zesty. And I mean, Hong Kong weirdly has gone back down to 14, 15 degrees this past week.
I feel like seasons have been so confusing because it's cold where I am and cold where you are, and isn't it supposed to be the opposite? I'm just having a trip so far.
Yeah, and I know, yes, 14 degrees is not that cold, but usually in March Hong Kong's already 25, so we're a good 10 degrees below. Oh my god, my voice. We're good 10 degrees below what is quote unquote normal. But it's good. It's very citrusy. It just tastes so good. I'm gonna try that with a lemon wedge or some honey later. But
extra lemon.
Yeah, so try out some these flower teas and stuff. But yeah, that's I like it, and that's all I kind of have to say.
It's funny you bring that tea up because I usually don't have teas that are infused with anything.
Oh yeah.
I'm very much not I'm an elitist about tea or anything like that. It's just a product of I guess Chinese household, and so usually we just get Chinese teas, which are basically just loose leaf and just the tea itself.
Yeah, it's, quote unquote more just tea leaves pure, instead of flour or any sort of other flavors. But actually an extra note, I actually just got my mom recently came back from visiting her granddad or her father in China, and she brought back some tea from Chaozhou. So in Chaozhou, tea is a massive thing. If you ever heard of kung fu tea, it's from Chaozhou. And she brought them back, and I'm very excited to try because it's something I don't get to drink often, and it'll be nice to be in touch with my roots and whatnot. But,
yeah. Watch out though. It's gonna be really bitter.
Yeah. Well, but obviously we do it in a different, small proportion, and I don't know. There's a way of drinking that I don't know. I'll update everyone in a few weeks.
Excited for that.
Yeah. How's life though? It's been a month since we've talked.
Yeah, life's been okay. I mean, recently just my holidays just ended. So this week, just been adjusting back to uni life.
Yeah.
Seems a little bit more normal now, at least here in Australia. I've got in-person pracs and everything, but lectures and stuff are still online, which I guess is all right. I feel having lectures online just save a lot of time not commuting.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, just I feel time has just flown by. It's already March.
Yeah.
But our listeners are probably gonna hear this by the time it's April. So
yeah, but that's fine. we control the output anyways. But yeah, no time. Yeah, I mean, like we've been doing this podcast for like more than a year now.
Yeah, that's crazy. It feels like we're only like just starting.
Yeah. Someone like came up to me the other day and was like, wow, I didn't realize that you and your friend did a podcast. Like, and there's so many episodes. And I was like, yeah, there we are. I didn't actually realize like we've got like what 20-ish episodes now. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but like, you know, in retrospect, like it's been a year and a bit, but you know, it's been fun. So I'm glad we started it. Definitely.
Been this like educational catch-up journey.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people might think that we forget a lot of the stuff we talk about. Don't get me wrong, we do. Well, at least I do. But some stuff I genuinely like do remember, whether that be about the friendship book I talked about, friendship album I talked about. I think I can't do this on the top of my head, but like if you ask me, like the puns, it was like a recent episode. I remember quite a lot of stuff from that. But yeah, it's just fun. And just on a very not existential, but like self-reflection mode. Like we can, you know, we look at our analytics, or we can. And when we upload our episodes, we do. And I feel like the second season, there's less people listening. And low key, I'm kind of broke, not broke. I'm low key a bit hurt, you know? I'm not disappointed in the audience. Don't get me wrong. I feel like we took a little hiatus during the winter. And that may have like affected the the view count. And I'm like, man, I wish like I don't know. I don't want to make this all about, you know, listening counts, but like sometimes numbers are numbers, and you're just like, damn.
Yeah, there's just something about numbers that like kind of like bypasses everything, and you just like, yeah, I mean like it causes like dopamine, rewards you.
I just like
go up.
Yeah, it's kind of like looking at likes on Instagram, you know. But yeah.
Hey, I mean, it's a good thing they got rid of it.
Yeah. Wait, they got rid of likes on Instagram?
Like got rid of like seeing how many likes are on a post.
Oh, I still see it.
I mean, you can see your own posts, but like, I can't see how many people liked your posts, for example.
Really? Oh, I think I can still see it. Maybe I haven't just updated my app yet.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but yeah, I quite like that feature. It's just like, I'll like this photo because I like this photo.
Exactly.
How many thousand people else have like double tapped it or anything?
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay, so today I'd like to share some things I learned about design and technology. But specifically, design and tech inspired by animals.
Whoa, okay.
I'm not sure if you can really relate to this, but like ever since like uni started, like I haven't had many opportunities to learn like random facts about things that like I typically don't seek out by default. So it's like I haven't learned much that's like outside, like nature based, because I'm always just like sitting at home. I mean, like a lot of people right now are like just staying at home all the time, which is fine. But yeah, like I remember just like learning about like random nature facts in like primary or secondary school, and like we just don't get that now, you know.
Yeah.
So what better way? What better way to bring that back than through this podcast? I will get on with it. First animal-inspired design. Apparently, fireflies are helping us create more efficient LED bulbs.
Wait, how?
So, okay. I'm glad you asked, Colin.
No, that was genuine. I was like, what? How? Like, I get that they light up, but like, how do you develop illumination technology from like bio? I mean, like there is biotech. I wouldn't know. Sorry, continue.
So my knowledge in physics is not the best, so I do apologize if I butcher this explanation, but apparently there are two elements that factor into an LED's efficiency. So basically that's how much light it produces and how much of that light becomes useful to us so that it shines on something that we need to brighten up. And these two factors are the reflectivity on the bottom of the LED and the reflectivity on the emissions surface. So to put it more simply, we need to put a mirror on the bottom of the LED so that the light that's shining backwards goes forwards instead. And we need the glass bulb that surrounds the LED to not be reflective, so that most of the light escapes from the bulb.
Yeah. True.
Because if you've ever seen like glass, you can sometimes see your reflection in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you had a light shining on it, it's actually reflecting backwards. And so apparently fireflies have provided inspiration to creating less reflective bulbs. So like glass or other like crystal structures have like a lattice structure that makes them transparent, but they're also like symmetric structures, which makes that like reflectivity. Like when you look at a piece of glass, then it's like kind of reflective. And so, as mentioned before, we don't want glass to be reflective, or whatever like crystal structure we use to surround the LED. So fireflies are actually able to emit light more efficiently because they kind of have a solution to this, which is to coat that surface with like asymmetric, like microscopic projections, or in simpler terms, just kind of roughen it up so that it's not reflective, but light still passes through it.
Oh.
And so it's just that surface bit, because you still need the thing to be transparent for light to shine through. And so some researchers at Penn State have found that you can make these surfaces synthetically, and it actually like improves like light extraction from the LED by like 90%, which is
Whoa, that's insane.
a lot of efficiency to be gained from doing that.
Yeah. And obviously it's good because #save energy, be environmentally friendly as much as possible.
But yeah. Second animal-inspired design. Just wondering, have you ever been told to not sit or stand still for too long?
Yeah. I think it was like for standing, it was like you might cut off blood circulation if you stand straight specifically for too long. Like, because I know soldiers like fall down if they stand for too long in the heat or something. I think sitting, it's like you might get a cramp or something.
So yeah, there's a lot of issues that can arise from sitting or standing too long. And the reason why is because, for example, like when you're standing or when you're sitting for a long time, if you think about like our body, like anatomically, our legs are for the furthest away from our heart as possible, right? And the thing about that is that it makes it prone for blood that gets pumped there to not be able to make its way back. And so that's why, like, you know, people tell you not to stand still for too long or sit for too long, because just the act of walking and contracting those muscles there is actually a way is a mechanism to help us return blood back to the heart when the pressure gets too low, because it's traveling a long distance if you think about it. And so that's why, like, you know, when you're sitting on long haul flights, they'll tell you like good advice is like to get up every so often, bearing like turbulence and all that, because some conditions that can be caused by your blood getting still and like pooling like where your legs are conditions like deep vein thrombosis and edemas. And what deep vein thrombosis is basically our blood likes to clot when it's still. That's why when you cut yourself, you form a scab. But when it's too still inside your body, it does the same thing. So it forms blood clots in your veins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so you don't want chunks. Yeah. It's a serious condition. You don't want like chunks floating around in your blood.
Well, that's quite scary to think about.
And then edemas are where your tissue kind of swells because there's too much liquid in them. And that's also caused by like blood being too still, like where it is, and then like osmosis and tissues draw too much water and then causes swelling and everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So let's link this back to animals. So giraffes are pretty long.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and they're like if you think about it, they've got really long limbs and also like a really long like neck, obviously. But they don't actually get edemas for some reason.
Oh, yeah. That is, yeah, why?
Which is a bit like counterintuitive, because you're just like, wait, we're not even that, like our legs aren't even that far from our hearts. Like how come like humans get edema so easily? Well, like giraffes, they're like massive. Well, it's actually because their skin is like super tough and kind of compressy, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
And so actually that kind of compression helps with like venous return, which is like blood returning back to their hearts.
Oh.
And because of this, compression therapy is like a big part of treating edemas of the leg. And yeah.
Oh. See, I was gonna say, when you said tough skin on giraffes, like pressing in, I was like, oh, kind of like 2 times you like, like compression underwear for sports, or like and like they always talk about how it helps like your blood to circulate and like your oxygen in the blood to like be I don't know what the actual word is, obviously, because I don't study this, but like re-oxygenated, like your blood to be re-oxygenated quicker, so
it returns to your heart.
Yeah, and you can have like better cardio, you perform slightly better, like ache less. I mean, I don't know how true this science is, but like I can see the connection.
Yeah. Well, the basic like principle behind it is that if you increase the pressure there, it's more likely to return. That's why you don't get a lot of blood clots in arteries, because they're thicker and they have more like the pressure in them is usually higher. That's why it's like deep vein thrombosis and not like deep artery thrombosis or whatever.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Science. See, this is stuff I'll remember. This is knowledge right here.
Don't jinx it. Someone's going to ask you about this soon in real life.
What's the scapula? I'm like, bone blade thing on the back.
Hey, you're remembering it now. Yeah. I've got 2 more animal-inspired designs. The next one, I think, you might already know, but like, have you ever wondered like how Velcro works?
I know how it works, but I don't know where it's inspired. Like a bee, maybe? Like I can't think about.
So it's not actually inspired by. Well, it's partly inspired by an animal. The person that invented it basically looked at how the burrs of plants, which is like burrs can be like dry seeds or things like that. But like, have you ever like gone hiking and then you've got like a bunch of like stuff stuck on your shirt?
Yeah.
And they have like, and it's really hard to get off because they have like tiny hooks on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he saw that and was just like, hey, I can make one end like my dog's fur and make one end like the hooks and then stick them together. And then you have Velcro.
Oh, wow. So there's some genius people out here.
Right place, right time. Or
Yeah.
like, yeah, as long as you're observant, I guess, of nature.
Yeah.
Which apparently neither of us are. And then I've got one last one, which I found kind of funny actually. So, don't you just love the sound of cicadas in the summer?
No, absolutely not.
Same. But their wings are pretty impressive.
Okay.
They've actually got antibacterial properties.
What?
Yeah, which don't involve like any kind of like chemical interaction between the bacteria and like an antibacterial substance.
Is it like bacteria repellent surface? Kind of like waterproofing, but like bacteria proofing?
You can think about it like that. So, like usually like antibacterials, like antibiotics, for example, like the way that they kill bacteria is either they like they interrupt something in its function. So it's like, they interrupt the formation of its cell wall, or they like stop its DNA function, or like they stop its protein synthesis, and then like the bacteria shuts down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, cicada wings have like tiny microscopic spikes that literally shred the bacteria, causing its untimely demise.
Oh, that's kind of badass, though.
Okay, to be honest, it's not as epic as it sounds. There's actually like this visualization for it on like Nature, which is like a scientific journal, and it's actually not as epic. It's just, if you imagine like a bacteria that's like a really stretchy water balloon.
Yeah. Okay.
And you place it on like a bed of like blunt nails.
Oh, it just pops.
Like it doesn't pop, it just like slowly sinks into the nails. And because it's blunt, it doesn't like pop immediately. But the weight of the balloon itself causes it to like fall deeper. onto the nails. And at some point, the weight is so great that it like tears through the wall of the bacteria.
Oh, wow.
And then like because it tears through the wall, the bacteria dies because it just can't sustain its shape anymore. Which is kind of like a torturous thing. Think about it. It's like a medieval torture device.
Yeah.
But hey, at least it's a great starting point to creating like biomaterials that can combat infections and stuff.
Absolutely. Wow, that's really cool. That's genuinely really cool. I wonder like what process of like natural selection or adaptation or whatnot. Or maybe it's a mutation. I don't know. But I wonder how it got that feature on their wings, you know.
It, like probably one cicada mutated to have that, and then they were less likely to die from like wing infections or whatever.
And then natural selection happens.
Yeah, and so like all the ones that did get wing infections probably died, and then now you have cicadas with like antibacterial wings.
Yeah. Extra fact, I saw this the other day. Apparently, moths are supposed to be white or used to be white. And then the Industrial Revolution happened in England or Europe and whatnot. And then like a lot of the pollution were like went onto trees. So trees became a lot darker color. And eventually now they're all like darker color because it works better as camouflage. Geckos or whatever like predator wouldn't eat them. And I'm like, wow, that is super cool.
Yeah, it's like really recent, even though like we kind of like see or like learn about evolution in this kind of like millions of years kind of time span.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that. Like I remember like learning about that back in like middle school or something.
Interesting stuff, man. Science.
So what time is it, Colin?
It is fact time. Sorry, Joseph threw that on me out of nowhere. Let me open up my document with my fact on it. Okay.
I was just done with my bit, so I was just like, well, pass the baton.
Right. So, I think a lot of us in this world, living in very privileged, cities or places where we have access to a lot of different types of food, love food, and maybe we'll call ourselves foodies. And there's always this fierce debate over whether or not pineapple has any place on a pizza.
The answer is...
I'm not going to say my answer yet, but did you know that the Hawaiian pizza is undoubtedly actually from Chatham, Ontario, Canada?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe I'm saying Chatham wrong. Maybe it's like French. I mean, I don't know. The state, the province of Ontario is in French. Chatham. I don't know, man. So it's spelled Chatham. So I think it's just Chatham if you pronounce it in anglicized. If it's anglicized. But okay, I'm just gonna say Chatham. But yeah, the Hawaiian pizza is from Canada. It is from the restaurant owner Sam Panopoulos. He's Greek, but moved to Canada when he was 20 years old in 1962. And this young entrepreneur decided to put pineapples on pizza because, this is what he said to BBC when he got interviewed. He said, we just put it on just for the fun of it. See how it was going to taste. We were young in the business and we were doing a lot of experiments. And the name apparently just came from a brand of pineapples that he used, and he just called it the Hawaiian pizza. So had no influence from tropical countries or Hawaii, or neither is it anywhere near Hawaii. It's just, it was a can of pineapples. They took the name of the can as an experiment and it just became a thing.
Does this mean I can call a Hawaiian pizza like a well-balanced Mediterranean diet?
Mediterranean?
Yeah, just because like of the Greek inspiration.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's Greek. Someone just came into my room, so the recording might sound a bit weird. But anyways, it's the end. You've learned a fact about cicadas. pineapple pizzas and what else did we learn today? Giraffes and wow, my memory is terrible.
And also fireflies.
Yes, and also fireflies. Yeah. Hope everyone's doing well.
I know how we can end this episode off with.
Okay, how?
Like we'll say our preference on pineapples on pizza. Yes or no? In,
Okay.
3, 2, 1. A resounding yes.
Ah, man. Cancel culture needs to happen on this, Joseph. Right now.
Nah, you're the vocal minority. Get out of here.